Hello everyone and welcome to the Super Rugby Round 8 preview podcast. I'm Paul, the guy behind DrivingMaul, a website, podcast, Twitter account and YouTube channel bringing you the best in rugby predictions and opinion. Don't forget to subscribe on your favourite podcasting app so that we drop into your phone every single day of the week. That's right, there are podcasts coming out every day of the week and live shows as well. And if you want to see the live shows, you can see what happens behind the covers by watching us on YouTube at 8 p.m. New Zealand time every Thursday for the preview, but also Mondays and Tuesday nights as well. Joining me this week all the way from South Africa, yes, this is a truly international show. We have Pillar from the Grit Sports. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. On yourself, Paul?
Yep, not bad at all, not bad at all. And we kick off the weekend with a New Zealand-South Africa game. The Hurricanes hosting the Sharks. So the Sharks are unchanged from their victory over the Blues. You see that as a good thing?
I mean, continuity is a very important thing in this competition. So, I mean, the performance from the Sharks last week was very good. I was impressed. They were very dedicated. Jean-Luc Dupree, actually the Dupree brothers were actually quite dominant throughout the game. I mean, the fly half scored about 33 points, I think, in the game, and Jean-Luc Dupree was quite physical in getting good go forward ball. The Blues were nowhere in that game, to be honest. For me, watching the Blues this season, actually in the past couple of seasons, has been horrendous, man. I mean, they don't look committed. They don't look interested in playing. They'll play out of their guts. They'll be kind of lackluster. I mean, they'll be very.
You're stabbing me in the heart here. Here I am with my Blues jersey on, and you just the first thing you do is you go after my Blues. But they're not playing in this game, so we'll get on to the Blues later. But let's talk about the Sharks. As you say, yeah, the two sons of the coach did well and proved why they're being picked. It's not just because they're daddy's boys. It is because they are decent players. Do you think we'll see the Sharks sticking with their kicking for 3 points tactics again, or do you think that they will decide actually?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, if you've seen this competition so far, there's a lot of people that. Or a lot of teams actually go for line out instead of going for 3 points. So the Sharks did a very good thing by going for 3 points and just keep adding to the score. I mean, you're not guaranteed a try every time you go for a line out in a penalty. So I mean, if you have a good kicker, why not go for the 3 points? Just keep adding the score. Adding to your score.
So we've talked about the two Duprees. Any other players you think are going to be key in this game and stand out?
No, Kelvin Bosch for me also is. I mean, he's growing in leaps and bounds in that Sharks environment. I mean, there were concerns before about his defense and everything, but for me, he looks very comfortable at 15, and he works well with Dupree whenever one has to hang back and the one has to take up as first receiver. So for me, they're working quite well in that yo-yo positioning.
Yeah, one of the things that the coach did say is that defence will win us this game. So it comes down to defence. And so I guess we're going to be talking about players like, I'm going to butcher the centre pairing are going to need to be on their guard against Lamapi and Also. And also that the loose trio are going to have to get through a lot of work as well.
No, definitely. I mean, the Hurricanes are a very big threat. They actually, after they lost against the Blue Bulls, they kind of I think for them, that loss against the Blue Bulls was a wake-up call. And since then, they've gone on a winning streak. I mean, they've beaten the Crusaders, they've beaten the Highlanders. They've beaten the Highlanders, and now they've beaten, and now this past week, actually this coming week, now they're facing the Sharks. The Sharks are very, what can I say? I mean, their tails are up, but I don't see the Sharks pulling off a 2 out of 2 in New Zealand. But the Hurricanes have a very, very strong team. I mean, Bowden Barrett at 10 and TJ Perenara are a very good combination for the side to actually give them good forward ball.
Absolutely. Ben Lamb has been also having a fantastic season out on the left wing there, keeping Wes Houston out of the team. So there's some depth there.
People are already talking about him being an All Black already. So I don't know. I still need to see more of him. He's a former Sevens player, if I'm not mistaken, and his 4 tries against the Rebels actually were very good. I mean, it doesn't necessarily put him in contention for the All Black jersey, though. I don't think.
No. He's got to do it consistently now. I used to watch him when he was up at the Blues a couple of seasons ago. So we'll have to see. He has to keep this going, but it is great to see how he's being used by the Canes. He wasn't given that license. The other key player in this one is going to be Sam Henwood, because with Ali Surveyor out, he is at 7. And as we've already just said, that those loose trios against each other and the battle of the breakdown will be key. It's interesting that Fafita's been moved down to the bench. We have 2 proper locks this week, which is going to be important when it comes to scrum time as well. So it should be. The Canes clearly have a fantastic back line, but it's going to be an interesting fight up front.
It will be an interesting fight up front. I mean, another interesting stat about this game is that both teams have met each other about 18 times, 17 or 18 times, I think. Oh, 18, yeah. And both teams have actually won 9 each. So for me, it kind of doesn't really matter where they're playing, whether it's New Zealand or Durban. It kind of feels like it's a 50-50 game for both sides. I mean, Sharks could come off and win the game unexpectedly, but it'll be a very tall task for them to go to Wellington and try and beat this current Hurricanes team.
I agree as well. So my prediction is the Hurricanes by 10. What's your prediction for this one?
10 is quite a big margin. I'll go Hurricanes by 3.
I think at home, the Hurricanes will win out rather comfortably. But let's see. We then head up to Tokyo for the Sunwolves versus the Waratahs on what is a Saturday afternoon here in New Zealand, and obviously the early hours of Saturday morning for yourself. No Leach or Brits there for the Sunwolves. That's a bit of a surprise for me.
Oh yeah, I mean, Brits has been quite phenomenal for the Sunwolves forward pack. But I'm sure they're trying to rotate the side and get some guys also getting game time. But the Sunwolves have been playing some good rugby, to be honest. I mean, they haven't been slouches as they were in the previous years. But this year, they've actually quite competed. I mean, even their game against the Sharks, against the Lions away, was quite impressive. I mean, to only lose by 3 points against the Lions at home is a good achievement for a team like the Sunwolves.
That was the last game out, wasn't it? That was a massive game for them. Sorry, not the last game out. That was a massive game for them. They're coming off a bye week. So what we really want to see is a performance now that, yes, all the excuses of having a shorter preseason are now gone because we're 8 weeks in or 7 weeks in, whatever it is, and they've had a bye week. This should be when they start stepping up. I'm not sure, so hopefully they will. On the Tars side, they've still got Ned Hannigan at lock. I'm not comfortable with that. I think that's leaves him a bit lightweight in that pack. For me, he's much more a 6 than a.
Yeah, he is a much more of a flanker than a lock. I mean, even the first time I saw him against the Stormers, I was very impressed by his link play. He links up well with his back line, but now he has to play a much tighter role with the forwards. But with the Waratahs, you never know with the Waratahs. I mean, it depends on, for them, it kind of depends on the day. We'll see if they pitch or not, because, I mean, the Sunwolves can contend for this match, actually. But the Waratahs should have too much firepower to take them over the line. Maybe win it by 3 or 2 points. But it'll be interesting to see how the Sunwolves approach this game on Saturday.
You're a lot more positive than me, but I'm backing the Waratahs by 10. Yes, Flow is out. which is a big loss for them. But they're starting Nairavaru again, who has looked destructive. So we'll see how that pans out. I think we're going to, even with Folau out, I think we're still going to see lots of cross-field kicks from Foley and them competing in the air, like we've seen for the last couple of weeks.
Even if Nairavaru is starting, I mean, they also have, the Sunwolves also have that other big wing, I forget his name now, who's quite a big boy. I mean, he's very strong. He takes the ball up well. Maybe 11 versus 14, they can meet up in the back line.
Maybe so. Yes, no, you're right. The Sunwolves wingers have looked pretty good. Was it Lemeki? I think that's been impressive so far this season. But I say. So you're backing the Waratahs by about a score?
Yeah, but about 5 points.
Yeah, I've got them by 10. So again, I'm going a bit bigger than yourself. Now, this is where you can put the knife in. The Chiefs versus the Blues. Tell me how bad the Blues are then.
Well, I won't tell you how bad they are. Basically, I mean, the Chiefs only have a 56% record win against the Blues, so it will be a tighter game. The Blues tend to pick themselves up when they play against other New Zealand opposition. And then when they place everyone else, they kind of, I don't know. I really don't have a word for that for them. Basically, I mean, a 56% winning record against the Blues for the Chiefs kind of gives you some hope for the Auckland Blues in this fixture. But I mean, the Blues are really, really, really disappointing. They're really disappointing. I mean, that last week's game against the Sharks, like I said earlier, I mean, they lacked commitment, they lacked motivation, they lacked inspiration. It's like, for me, it's like they just went to that game, I don't know. They didn't want to be on the field.
They are a side that's definitely struggling, and they're not being helped by injuries, losing Scrafton in the forwards, losing Pulu, Sonny Bill Williams, Mali Nanai, just to name a few players. Jordan Traynor, who came on, got his first start last weekend and then goes off injured and is out now. So they're definitely missing players, but that's no excuse. All the teams are missing players. We've got Moala back on the left wing, out on the left wing, which is going to be a problem for them because he's more a centre to me than a wing. It's good to see Duffy back on the other wing, so which is good. But I think Moala is going to be targeted.
Yeah, no, I mean, having Duffy in the backs is all good and well, but for me personally, I think it all starts with their forwards, and I don't think their forwards are putting in the hard yards to actually get good go forward ball for their backline. What's his name? The Welsh coach's son, Gatland.
Yep.
Yeah, he's actually done pretty well for the Auckland Blues, but I mean, it gets disappointing when he can't be the guy that gives them go forward all the time, whereas the forwards need to do the hard yards. I mean, do all the grafting before he gets going. I mean, the Blues forwards is nowhere at the moment currently, and they need to pick themselves up to actually contend for that ball, contend for those lineouts, contend during scrums. So they actually need to pull finger.
So Jason tells us that Blues haven't beaten the Chiefs since 2011 in the live chat. So enough of how bad the Blues are. We know that now. What about the Chiefs? Obviously, Damien McKenzie starting at 10 again. It's going to be interesting.
No, Chiefs are not too bad. I mean, they pulled last minute gasp against the Highlanders in Sam Kane's 100th Super Rugby match. I mean, they've played 5, so they've won 4 out of those 5 games, only losing 1 game. So the last 5 results against the Auckland Blues, I mean, in 2015, there's the last time Chiefs lost to the Blues, basically. In actually not 2015, 2016. I mean, 2015. The last time they played. I mean, where is this game being played? In Hamilton, eh?
So this game is in Hamilton, and
Hamilton.
I think to me, I think with Retallick and Sam Cane leading those forwards, that's where they're going to win it. They do have some inexperience in there. I mean, Tyler Arden in next to Retallick has only got 3 caps, and I'm really interested to see how Sowakulu goes at number 8. I'm sorry, I'm probably pronouncing that name wrong, but it's his first start as a in Super Rugby. So I'm really interested to see how he goes.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of him. It'll be my first time actually watching him this weekend. So it'll be interesting to see. You're right. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. But I mean, in the front row, I mean, they've got Aidan Ross, Angus Taufau, so Brodie Retallick in the second line, and Ardren. So I think there's one guy that everyone is not really focused on, that Lachlan Boshier guy for the Chiefs. That guy does the hard yards there on the field. Sure, all the dirty work in that Chiefs forward pack. He actually does all that dirty work. I mean, he's been very impressive for me. He gains a lot of yards. He makes a lot of tackles. He's also involved in rucks and line out jumping as well. So I mean, a lot of people haven't said much about him, but I think he's one of the hard-working forward players in that Chiefs forward pack.
Yep. The other player that's actually stepping up, we've sung about their forwards, but Anton Brown has started playing well as well last time out. So he's going to be a key player for this team in this game, holding the backs together, because again, the backs are fairly inexperienced as a whole.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, they also have Charlie Ngatai on the bench, so he could come on any time for this weekend. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the Blues can hold up that Chiefs backline with McKenzie at first 5.
Yep. So I'm going for the Chiefs by 10. You think it's going to be closer than that?
You're wearing a Blues jersey. You should be going Blues by 10.
I should be, and if I had faith in my team, I would do, but I don't. So these are predictions from the head.
I'll also go Chiefs by 10 on this one.
Yep. Then we go across to Canberra for perhaps one of the I think one of the tighter games of the round, the Brumbies versus the Reds. How do you see this one panning out?
I mean, last time these guys met in Brisbane, Brumbies, I mean, Reds pulled off an 8-point or 10-point win. So, and they've also getting. So, for me, I'll still go with the Reds, even though it's in Canberra. I'll go with the Reds by 7 in this game.
Wow, we've got Sammy Karevi coming off with earning his 50th Queensland cap for this one, which is going to be good. And they've also got Higginbotham, their captain, coming back as well. And Nabuli returning. So they've got some quality players coming back into the side, giving them experience. They have a very gritty, nuggety team that their pack has been playing very well. But they are still a young side, and that's my sort of concern with them when they get on the road. Is there isn't a lot of experience in that team.
Fair enough, but I mean, with the Brumbies, they've been quite disappointing. I mean, they've got Australian, national backline players like Christian Leilifano and Tavita Kurinjani, but they haven't pitched this whole season so far. So for me, I don't know where they're lacking, the Brumbies, or they're lacking experience more than anything. But I don't see them beating the Reds, because I can see the Reds doing a 2 out of 2 against them. Plus the Reds have also, they've been coached by Brad Thorne, who's quite a gritty and very forward orientated coach. So that's why we've seen a difference in the Reds forward pack. They like to grind games out and try and push and try and actually try and dominate you up front. So the Brumbies, I don't see their forward pack holding up against the Reds forward pack.
Yeah, obviously the front row is with CEO, Faianga, and Ala Alatoa are going to need to step up, along with Rory Arnold and Blake Enova, because I mean they're up against two Wallaby locks in the Reds. But with David Pocock back there and Nazarani, they have the players there to do it. As you say, they've not clicked. It's going to be interesting to see what Matt Lucas can do. He's coming in fresh, whether he can ignite things a bit better, because now with that axis of Lucas, Haria, and Leofano, they've got plenty of playmakers there, and they've also just brought in Tom Banks, Penny to alongside Spate. So again, they've got the speedsters if they can release them. But we'll have to see.
They definitely have the players, but then the problem is now that I don't know. I mean, it's just them clicking, I guess, like you said. Also, maybe the coaching is not up to scratch as compared to the other clubs. So maybe maybe they need more game time together and spend more time as a team as well. Maybe this year they're trying out things, and then maybe next year things might be different.
A bit harsh from the chat here that this could be the worst game to watch this week. Maybe that's true. I don't trust the Brumbies bench either, but still, a lot of people are going. It's a bit mixed in the chat. I'm going the Brumbies by 3 for home advantage, which I did last week, which is a mistake. So, as they say, madness is doing the same thing twice and expecting a different result. Maybe I'm being mad here.
Yeah. I think the Reds' tails will be up. I mean, after beating them in Brisbane the other day. So for me, I think the Reds will be up for this challenge, and they actually have the momentum on their side over the Brumbies currently. So I'll go Reds by 3.
So it's the first time we've disagreed, which is going to be so. Yes, so this is the most intriguing one, if perhaps the lowest quality game of the round. Then we come to your home side, the Lions versus the Stormers. And let's be honest, the Lions are on a bit of a poor run themselves, losing to the Blues, only beating the Sunwolves. I thought it was by 2, but you said it by 3 earlier, so only by a small margin. Losing then to Jaguares and the Crusaders. What's gone wrong with them?
I don't know. I mean, I was watching one of the rugby shows the other day, and someone mentioned something about a coach. The Lions look different under this coaching structure than they did with Johan Ackerman. For me, the Lions still have the same players or squad, if I may call it that, that they've had for the past 3 to 4 years. So experience is not an issue, or maybe the players themselves are kind of taking things easy and thinking things will come their way like they've happened before. So I think for them, they thought, or not they thought, but like they believe that things will be the same as the previous years, but they actually aren't. I mean, you need to graft, you need to work hard, you need to do better than you did the year before in this competition. You can't think that because you've been in the finals twice and not won a final, you think that you're gonna just walk into another final, or just because you're playing. Maybe they judged this competition based on their home games. Maybe they looked at their fixtures and they pre-planned and they said, okay, we've got X games at home, and if we win X games at home, we are definitely guaranteed maybe a playoff spot type of mentality. I think that's one of the problems maybe that they might have had for me, because to me they look kind of relaxed. They don't look like the team that used to dominate immediately, or as soon as the first whistle goes, they used to dominate you. They used to outscore you. They used to hit you up front. They used to run the ball from their own 22. They used to get teams tired early in the first half. By the time it's the second half, it's difficult for teams to come back. But for me, there's a lot going on there, and they need to regroup. They need to set realistic goals again. They need to sit and structure out how they're going to go about the second half of this competition, because now what's going to happen is they're playing away.
Yeah,
all their games are going to be away.
Yeah, they've still got a tour, which is a problem for them. I think their biggest, as you say, they've got the same players. They've got quite a lot of the same coaches. To me, what I think they've lost is their inspiration. and that's the problem. And also missing Warren Whiteley has been a big thing for them as their captain. And I don't think I'm just not convinced this coach, the head coach, can inspire the players, and that's that I think has been their problem. And also Wagger Smith looks tired. Looks like he should have had some time off rather than going and play sevens. So I think that's also not been good for them. The Stormers, on the other hand, so we've got a struggling Lions side, but we've got a Stormers team that basically don't like sleeping, don't like missing their home dinners. They just can't travel.
Yeah, no, they've been bad at traveling this season. I think since losing 3 out of 3 back in New Zealand and Australia in the Australasian tour, and then they've only just won all their home games basically. So there's 3 or 4 games at home. So I mean, with that kind of record, it kind of makes it easy to make your pick for this weekend, doesn't it?
It does. So yes, so my pick. I've got the Lions by 3 because whilst they're not in great form, the Stormers can't play away from home. So therefore, it's in some ways this one is which team is going to be the least worst rather than which team is going to be the best. Unfortunately, but
that's basically it. So I mean, the Lions need to. I mean, they need to sharpen their attack. They need to sharpen. They need that inspiration for this weekend again. And I guess if they could win this game against the Stormers, maybe that spark might be enlightened. I mean, that spark might come back again for them.
So, what's your prediction? I'm going for Lions by 3.
Lions by 5.
Lions by 5. Okay, same as mashed potato in the live chat there. Then the final game of the round for me is going to be a brunch game, which means that I can watch it over my breakfast. Jaguares versus the Crusaders. Again, we've got no team news for this one either. But for the Jaguares, basically they've blown hot and cold. They're going to need to start well in this game, aren't they?
Yeah, no. Against the Crusaders, they need a very good start. But the Jaguares, I think they're quite an emotional outfit. It depends on how the emotions are, because sometimes it seems like they can't control their emotions on the park as well. So, but their discipline has been okay this season. It hasn't been too bad, like in the previous years. Maybe they're starting to learn a few things as every year of Super Rugby goes. But it will be a tight contest. I mean, it's always difficult to travel to Argentina for any side. Crusaders, coming off a very tough and physical Lions game. I'm expecting a very tight contest, a very, very tight contest. But I would think the Crusaders could pull it off in the last minutes.
Yeah, I expect the Crusaders to win this one. I expect them to look rather comfortable, but maybe not score a big margin, because lacking Richard Mo'unga means that they don't have the attacking spark that they rely on, and so I think they might not score as many points as we'd normally expect them to. And as long as if the Jaguares go down early and think that the referee's against them, then it could blow out, because they can lose their heads for periods of time. Yeah. And if they lose their head for 10 minutes, the Crusaders can score 3 or 4 tries.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, Mo'unga has been a big loss for them. Their backline hasn't sparked without him, but I see Ryan Crotty has actually tried to ignite some spark in that backline. And Sam Goodhue is not too shabby. Bridge is not doing too badly. Tamani Valu is also not a slouch. So they've got a good backline. They just need they fly off to actually give them good go forward. He also needs to take the ball up, because I see he doesn't take the ball up like how Richie Mo'unga would do in broken play for the Crusaders. So the fly off also needs to start taking the ball up a bit more, sucking all the defending players into sucking all the defending players basically. I mean, to open up the gaps out wide. So the fly off needs to start taking charge
Oh, it sounds like they lost Crotty at halftime. They lost Goodhue during the second half of the last game. So, well, it sounds like Goodhue might not be available for this weekend. So, again, injuries could play a part in this one, which could bring it to be closer. So maybe I've gone a bit big. I've gone Crusaders by 10.
Jeez.
How do you see this one panning out?
I'll say Crusaders by 5 again with this one.
Well, thank you very much for joining me. Pilla, why don't you tell everyone about Grit Sports and the wonderful stories you tell there?
Well, we are interactive portal. We tell stories or do interviews with either former, current sports players in South Africa, and we like keeping people up to date with live scoring on our Twitter handle @grit_sports. We've got an Instagram page. We've got a Facebook page. Our Facebook page is more entertaining, by the way. And basically, I mean, we are South African brand. Obviously, the most of our focus is South African based, but we also keep up to date with international and current affairs.
Cool. So everyone, check out the Grit Sports Facebook page and also their website. And for me, I'm much more a Twitter person. I'm much more 140 characters rather than nice pictures and things. So catch me on Twitter @DrivingMaul. Obviously, subscribe to the YouTube channel down below. If you're watching the recording, I should put my head there, and there'll be a box there with my latest video. And also, don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcasting app if you prefer to listen rather than watch. So thank you all. Enjoy whatever rugby you're watching this weekend. And obviously, look out for all my post-match reactions this weekend.